Hello, all of you beautiful people. Welcome to the second installment of the Freq podcast. Thank you for being here. I am recording this in a relatively public space. Actually, it's not relative, it's actually like a literal public space. So I may sound like a little boomy, a little like you're hearing like the sounds behind me. This microphone is really powerful. If I really wanted to, I could do like ASMR with it. But I don't think that you want that right now. Because what we're going to talk about right now is one of my favorite songs by Sabrina Carpenter. And this is going to be like this is a series that I seek to use to explore the like my feelings listening to different songs and what they mean to me, as well as just like pointing out like it's just commentary on music. I don't know why I'm like over explaining it, but I'm just gonna like give some commentary and perspective on different songs that I like. And you, as my listener, are going to follow along with me in that. So thank you for being here. Today, we're going to be exploring the song Lie to Girls by Sabrina Carpenter. And if you haven't heard that song, this podcast may not make a lot of sense to you. I mean, you can, pause this and go listen to the song and then, sit with the feelings that come up about it, but yeah, I'm gonna give you a moment to go listen. Okay, are you back now? Hi. Lie to Girls. You don't have to lie to girls. If they like you, they'll just lie to themselves. Like you, they'll just lie to themselves. I fucking love this song. Someone went to the bathroom. I love this song for so many reasons. Here's my first point that I want to touch on. Literally the chorus of, you don't have to lie to girls, because if they like you, they'll lie to themselves. I think that's something, like, I don't know, what comes up is the human nature of vision casting and like this hopefulness and this to this hopefulness to like experience the peak of life. I don't know. So like for women, it feels like, so there's a lot of layers to this. What I would like to first point to is that like women have been oppressed, I would say the most out of any group or any gender of existence. And maybe that's like a hot take, but I am gonna stand behind that, because women have been put into this position of reliance on the male gender and throughout history, you know what I mean? I think like generally everybody can agree on that. Women couldn't even have a checking account. They couldn't even have a bank account for themselves, or be able to utilize lines of credit until like less than 100 years ago. I think that's fucking insane, right? And we've also been used over and over again for the power of our bodies to reproduce and to continue on humanity, right? Against our will, and in many cases like in slavery and different things. So historically, I would say that women have had to create these fantasies of men in their world, in order to feel safe, in order to like create security in a relationship. Even like it's easier to create a story around somebody than it is to like sit with the reality of who that person actually is. And for women, it's like we have this societally impressed upon expectation to, you know, bear children. Really, that's like that's like the main thing, to bear children and to maintain the household, you know, historically. And so in order to like essentially gaslight and hypnotize oneself, to like convince oneself that safety is there externally, because like ideally you want to create safety in yourself, but that's another thing that women have not been really taught to embody, at least within the last 200 years, I would say. Safety in oneself and not having to rely on men or external validation or support or different things like that in order to survive and to enjoy life, you know. So with all of that, this fantasy that we create around men and even just like people in general, you know what I mean? But this song specifically is talking about men, so that's why I'm like talking on men, you know. Women are so, oh my God, women are just like so fucking creative. They're so creative and they're so, like the vision that a woman can cast is so extensive and in such great detail, because we are creatrixes, you know what I mean? Like we have the ability to touch time, like various timelines, and like I'm so glad I'm alone in this room, because I'm just like women are the creative force in this world. I feel, and I will stand behind it, because we literally give birth to life. Like we bring life into the world. And so of course we have this ability to cast vision and to pull from our environment. We are a mother, so like we're bringing life in towards us, and our connection with men is this like supportive energy, protective energy that surrounds that creation, that is like the container for creation. And so if that is lacking, if that's lacking in any way, if the safety of a container is lacking in any way, women have this incredible ability to then use their imagination to fill in the gaps of that container. We're really good at like justifying behavior. We're really good at being like diplomatic and like flexible, and when we are in love, we are so willing to just excuse away behavior in order to maintain the connection, in order to in order to maintain the connection, we create these fantasies in our head that are based on the excuses that we create for others. And it like removes the need for accountability and change of the man you're interacting with. Because if we can excuse it and understand it intellectually, then then the problem can be null, you know? Like if we can like justify it in our brain and say, you know, maybe he's just traumatized, maybe he just had a really hard childhood, or you know, his circumstances are just so terrible that he couldn't possibly get up to do XYZ, you know, like he just doesn't have the capacity to do those things. And yet I believe maybe he has the capacity to hold my heart. Maybe he has the capacity to like show up for me emotionally when he can't show up for himself fully. And that's the thing. That's like women who are with men who can't create a safe container will justify away the holes and then use their own creative energy to then fill in those holes. And that is on overfunctioning, and that is on imbalance in a relationship. Ooh, it was 11:11 when I said that. And women are just like, usually, or I mean just like soft women are really, really patient and really, really giving. And you know, when Sabrina says like all of your best excuses, they don't stand a chance against all the chances I give you, isn't ideal, but damn, you don't even have to try. Turn you into a good guy. Like, and then she talks about like how every woman that she knows is so loving and so giving and so patient and willing to just like accept the men around her for who they are and accept like treatment that is less than what they deserve. And like I said in the beginning, it just like touches a lot of different aspects of life. Like it's also like being in tune with one another, being willing to like communicate, be vulnerable with each other. Like if women are feeling this way, we have to be vulnerable in sharing this with our partner, obviously. It can't just be like, all the men should know, you know what I mean? Like I get that, but I think there is a part of this where it's like, I think women understand that it's more emotional labor to like have that conversation and being like, I'm feeling mistreated, or I'm feeling like a lack of energetic investment, and also maybe alignment, and a lack of alignment in who we are and what we want for life, you know. Being very real with oneself and like, I am creating a fantasy around this person, and am I being with the reality of who this person is, or am I creating a story? You know what I mean? There's definitely like personal accountability on both sides. Like this isn't like a fuck men, you know, like, but it is just like it is a prevalent enough issue that I feel like Sabrina Carpenter's song is like so relevant. Like I know women who have just like, and me included, have just like given so much grace and like shelled it out to the point of completely losing myself. Like giving people energy, my precious energy that did not deserve it, and was not reciprocating. And there was just so much fantasy wrapped around it, where I was just like completely oblivious to how I was sacrificing myself in order to make the connection work, you know. But anyway, yeah, I love that song, and I think ultimately the takeaway can be like what I just said, like be with the reality of who a person is, you know. Let's not sugarcoat anybody. There's so much nuance to a person's experience, and time is required to actually get to know somebody, and you know, a level of trust, I would say, because what I was about to say was that, like, you can spend all the time in the world like peeling back layers of a person and still never touch their like essence, you know? Like, that is such a sacred sanctum and chamber within a person, is like their essence. And so like that endless exploration is what I feel relationships are. And so one of the most important things that we can offer in relationship is like being in the reality of what it is, and moving intentionally within that relationship in order to like meet the desired outcome of the relationship. It sounds so, I like, as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, it sounds so like cut and dry. It's like, why are you relating? Are you guys agreed in that intention? Have you communicated your boundaries, your preferences, your expectations? And then are you actively moving toward that direction? You know what I mean? I know love is more nuanced and complex, and like there's so much more that flows in between those steps, and I can't go through every single one right now. But I think ultimately one of the lessons of this song is that that we need to live in the reality of our feelings, and be with the reality of how our partner is showing up in that relationship. Our own needs, we have to be aware of our own needs in order to communicate them to our partner. And we have to be open to whatever may come from that, you know? Like, we have to be open to how they may respond and be willing to actually like be with it. Like, if they express they do not have the capacity to like show up in that way, and that is something that we are very like adamant about for ourselves, then we have to be real, and we have to like create boundaries for ourselves in order to like support each other's journey, each other's like expression of life, to support each other's like growth and development and evolution. We have to be real with that, and make decisions from like a grounded, embodied place, instead of just like la-di-da, I don't know. like the ideal, right? Like we don't make decisions based on the ideal of what we desire to experience. We make decisions based on the reality of what is here right now. Okay, thank you so much for joining me on the second Femme Freq podcast episode. And I love you guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye.